Take one. Action. Hello, I'm Charlie.
And I'm Rosie.
We have just spent the last 6 months travelling around Southeast Asia, and in this video we're going to tell you the do's and don'ts, what we think you should and shouldn't do. Number one of our do's.
Always make sure you're taking tissues when you're going to the toilet. Sometimes they have loo roll. It might be outside of the toilet cubicle and you might have to grab some before you go in. Sometimes they might not have any, so that's why it's really important to have some tissues.
Also, having tissues on you when you've got a sweaty mess like Rosie, it's multi-use. Use it for the toilet, but also to wipe all that sweat off her forehead whenever she's gone outside for 2 minutes in hot weather.
The first don't is don't bother with getting a 40-litre bag. So we specifically got 40-litre bags purely because we thought we could put them on carry-on, but that is not the case. So the smallest bag that you can take on carry-on is 7 kg. There's absolutely no chance that you're going to be fitting all your life into that bag
under
7 kg. There's no chance. So it's better to just get a big bag.
The main thing is once you get there, most of Southeast Asia, you'll be getting a bus or a ferry. So you don't need, it doesn't matter how heavy the bag is. The guy putting it in the bus might give you a dodgy look, but apart from that, your big bag's it's going on anyway.
Yeah.
So don't do what we did and have to fight every day trying to close your bag, thinking, oh, the zip's going to break, I haven't got enough stuff, I can't buy anything, I don't want to buy any new clothes. I want to buy new clothes, but I can't fit them in my bag. What am I going to do? Just buy a big bag.
Yeah, but obviously if you're someone who's really, really small, you're not going to get yourself a 65-litre bag. It just won't be good for your kind of structure of body.
Look funny though, so I'd say go for it.
So get a bag that suits you, you know that you can wear it and it's not going to be an absolute pain.
Yeah, it might be worth even
like
going to like a mountain warehouse or somewhere like that and just trying bags on before you go to know what you want. Another important thing when you're going away is money. How are you going to deal with it? It can be a bit overwhelming, you don't know what you're going to do, how much everything is worth, and you might get mugged off paying 60 quid for a spring roll. You never know.
Yeah.
You never know.
We use the Bank of Monzo, so you get a card and basically... So for Rosie done an awful job at explaining this, so VoiceOver Rosie will clear it up. At any international ATM, you can take out as much as £200 over 30 days without paying any extra fees. This is therefore super handy to help save money, but also doesn't force you to get out a shed load of money all at one time.
A good thing about Monzo as well is it's like an online bank, so you can literally set it up. All you have to do is get the app, do a cringy video going, hi, my name's Charlie, and I would like a Monzo account. And within a day or two, they accept it, and they'll send you a card through the post. And they all have different tiers. Like we got the basic one for £200 withdrawals without fees, but you can get an account where you pay a little bit a month and that ups it. So yeah. It depends how much money you've got.
Unlike my other bank where I have to get a stupid kind of pin and add it all in, it's easy just to send money across to anyone at any point. There's no need to kind of check. It's all kind of face recognition as well.
And it's also all on the app. It shows you what you're spending immediately. So if you've got your data or your Wi-Fi on, as soon as you ping something, you know exactly how much in English pounds you've spent. And sometimes it does transfer it as well. So it tells you, oh, maybe 100 baht and you've spent that in pounds as well. We
also recommend to not overdo the long haul travel. So a large majority, when we were in Thailand specifically, we done a lot of overnight sleeper buses or trains, and that was because we were like, oh, it'd be fine, it saves us on accommodation pricing, so that works. But those days are just such killers because you don't get the best sleep. I used to sleep quite well, but you just feel like death the next day. You have to then wait to check in for your accommodation at 2 o'clock, so you're just hanging about. It's okay to do it every so often, but in the end we ended up having to do the sleeper bus and then buying accommodation for that same night. So when we arrived, we got straight into a room.
Yeah, we had a long travel day where we went, oh, we're in Chiang Mai and we need to get all the way down to Koh Samui. What should we do? Oh, we'll just do it all in one big long journey, a 12-hour train overnight, then we'll wait 12 hours, then we'll get on a bus for 12 hours, and then we'll get on a ferry for 2 hours, and then by the time you get there, you're dead and you write the whole day or two off. So it's tempting to do, and some of the overnight journeys are the best way to do it, but pace yourself and think, is it worth saving the money on accommodation when really you could just get a day bus. You might get some beautiful views as you drive in, and then you can get into accommodation at night, have a nice sleep, and then the next day you're fresh and raring to go.
If you're someone who's obviously got shorter time, well, you wouldn't mind actually flying from them places.
Yeah, we met a couple of people that were only out for a month or 2 months, and they just flew everywhere. So we had a journey that might have been 13 hours on a bus, and they'd done it in 2 hours on a plane.
Yeah.
But it's more money.
It's a bit more pricey, but if you've got shorter time, then it just makes sense to do it.
And sometimes it makes sense to pay the extra and fly. Like when we went from Laos to Vietnam, you could either get a 24-hour coach, which you don't know, it's not VIP, it's just a coach, or you can get an hour and a half flight from Luang Prabang to Hanoi straight into the city. So sometimes just pay a bit extra and save the hassle.
To be fair, I don't actually know why we didn't go from Chiang Mai straight to Koh Samui, but it happened.
You know, we're newbies at this. Now, lots of people go to Southeast Asia and they go, oh, I'm going to get tan, I'm going to drink on the beach, I'm going to see all these beautiful things. But no, if you're a ginger pale like me, you burn.
Yeah, but you don't look ginger.
I've got it in me. And what you need to do is you need to buy sunscreen before. It is so expensive out there.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
So we took 3 with us. We took, 250s and 130.
Yeah.
And we actually done quite well with that. We ended up having to get sun cream in, was it Cambodia?
Yeah.
So that was probably month 5. But again, like Charlie said, it is really expensive to buy out there, just purely because no one out there really uses sun cream. But also they add whitening, so it actually counteracts the idea of you getting a tan, which isn't what you want.
Don't be too stingy with your money. Don't. Because you've saved all this time, you've gone, oh, I'm going to have this amazing adventure, I'm away for all this time. Don't be missing out on things because you think, oh, I can't afford it. At the end of the day, worst comes to worst, you might have to cut a week off your travel.
Yeah.
It's not going to be major, or you might be really lucky and you might have an amazing mum and dad that can send you some money. You might not have this opportunity again. You might be on a gap year, you might be going to uni, then you might get into a career, or you just might not have the money to do this length of time travelling the world again.
I would probably say the best activities that we done were things like the Haijan Loop, and when we went to Malaysia and done the river cruise. Those both came to about £380 odd, but that was over 3 days. It was for the 2 of us, and when you think about it and cut it down, it really is
it's not that much.
Hardly anything.
You've got to think, compare it to what you're spending in England. You could spend that in 3 weekends, 300 quid, maybe just shopping, go to get drinks or whatever.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, you're paying less for food, so it kind of balances out anyway.
You don't want to go there and just not do anything. The whole point of you going out there is to do these amazing activities that are all part of the travel experience. One of the things that I really recommend you do, and it should be what you're wanting to do when you're going travelling, is really get involved in the culture by just really delving into local life. So for example, when we went to Detu Batu, we were totally in local life, and that was probably one of the nicest places that we went to, purely because we felt so involved
and immersed in the culture.
Yeah, in the culture and the way that life is. And
yeah, everyone's super friendly, they take you in. You might not be able to speak to them, but you've got nods and you've got gestures.
If you're the type of person that is literally just going to places that are tourist based, you're not getting the real authentic feel for that country or culture.
Yeah, some people might want to just go up on a piss up around the world, and that's totally fine. But if you want to
actually explore and travel,
some of the best times we've had is when we've done that, and we've had it with the local people. I had the best night of my life drinking with a Laosian guy. He didn't speak any English, but we were best mates by the end of the night, you know? Now this is Rosie's kryptonite. Don't overplan. What are you going to do? She spends weeks researching, looking at stuff, and having a rigid timetable, only for us to go, or me go, oh, I'm not really feeling doing that, and the whole plan's out of whack. You've got to plan a bit, because I did nothing, and if I went out there without planning, I would have been lost. My money's gone in a week, and I'm living in a Thai jail somewhere. So you've got to plan a little bit, but don't be so structured. You've got to be open to going, oh, plans change.
I looked into what places I would like to go to, what you can do into each places, and kind of a rough idea of how long I would stay in each place. We were lucky enough that we did meet people when we were out there and they suggested going to places like Borneo. And that's why it's important not to have it too rigid. Even though Charlie said that I did, we didn't have that rigid kind of plan because we were able to move away and do certain things. Although I have to say there were times that maybe Charlie was like, oh, I just can't be asked to do anything today. And I'd be like, no, but I've got a whole day planned. But it is, remember, if you're in a couple, there are two of you and you have to find that compromise between the two of you. And if you're someone like me, who's the planner, you've just got to let it go. And it gives you an opportunity to come back.
Exactly.
Going on from the idea of getting involved in local life, there is no rule book that says you need to go to all the hot spots and the tourist places. Even though it might be a little bit more complicated getting into places that are less touristy, you will just have a better experience overall. That doesn't mean to say don't go to the hotspots, because generally they are really, really nice, and that's why so many people are there.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of videos out there saying you must go here, you must go there. But do what you want. I mean, you've saved up a lot of time for this, you've planned it, you've got halfway across the world. Don't do someone else's trip, do yours. Now, a lot of people might go, this is obvious, but don't expect a Western transport service in Southeast Asia. Now, when I arrived, I kind of knew that when we were going to go some places, it was going to be a cramped bus or a crappy train, but we saw a lot of groups of people, especially younger people, out there, and we were in like a cramped minivan with bags all on our laps, and they're like acting like it's the world's on fire and it's the worst thing ever. And it's like, you've just got to put your bag in your lap. Like, yes, you might get some amazing transport that we did, like in Hanoi, up to Hainan, or on the way back, I can't remember. We got amazing like luxury beds that lay down on the bus, and it was great.
Malaysia's really good.
Yeah.
Thailand generally is very good.
But when you're in the middle of nowhere in Laos, don't expect an amazing service. You might just get chucked in the back of a truck, and that's the part.
Yeah. And actually, we really enjoyed those types of experiences because you don't have that in Western world. I know exactly what example Charlie's thinking of, and these girls were having an absolute meltdown. The fact that so many people and so many bags were getting crammed into a minibus, and we said, well, how long have you been travelling for? And they said 3 months. We were like, how have you gone 3 months without like experiencing this before? I don't know how, but yeah, I just think it's all part and parcel of it, and it's just
it's
the fun part.
Yeah, I mean, you might get on a bus and there's chickens on the roof and fish on the floor in a box, but that's just how it goes.
Yeah.
You've got people chucking bags of rice in the back of a truck and you've got to sit on them, but it's funny, it's stories. Also, VIP, it's not going to be VIP. You think VIP in England, you're going to pay loads. You pay VIP in Southeast Asia, it's lower your standards. You know?
Yeah.
I've been in VIP where I'm laying in a cramped bed, I look up at the aircon unit, it's covered in gum and it's dripping on your head while you're trying to sleep. That's just how it is sometimes.
Build a budget that is comfortable for you and what you plan to do when travelling. So if you want to do loads of activities, obviously you're going to need a bigger budget than someone that just wants to do things that are free.
Now this comes with, once you get out there, you might change your budget, because when we got out there, we watched loads of videos. We saw people going, $35 a day for a couple. So you spent that between you, including accommodation, food, activities. No chance. We went from £35 each a day up to 40, and then we moved it up to £50, and then by the end we were like, it is what it is. But obviously you do have to budget, but like I said, you've planned this trip for a long time, so you're not going to want to stick to a strict budget, go everywhere and not do anything. So don't go halfway across the world and just eat street food and not see anything or do anything you want to do, because what's the point of going?
Yeah.
You might as well just sit and watch our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Also, when saving, don't get overwhelmed by it. So make sure you save a load, but don't overthink it.
Yeah, so what we done the first time, so when we were saving, we didn't do a lot of things. So we didn't do date nights, we didn't really go anywhere. But I'd probably recommend maybe not doing that now, looking back. Charlie's very different, but I think don't stop living because you're trying to save up. Obviously, save up as much as possible, but don't cut out everything just to build that budget. But if it's something that you really want to do and you just want to cut everything out like we did, do it, and you will save up money and go earlier than planned.
It's time frame, isn't it? If you want to go quicker, don't go out, don't do anything, cook at home. If you get your head down, 6 months work and just smash it out, you'll be gone in no time. But if you're a person who likes going out and spending money and seeing
it's going to take a lot longer.
It's going to take longer, but that's your choice, isn't it? So do what you want to do again, but I would say just be a hermit for 6 months.
So the next don't is don't get a motorbike or scooter if you don't know how to ride one. So even if you do know how to ride one in a Western country or on British roads, it is a totally different level in Southeast Asia. Even though you can hire one, it doesn't necessarily mean that alongside it you can get travel insurance with it. So a lot of travel insurance, probably about, I don't know, 80%? No, maybe even more. 90% of travel insurance won't give you kind of that insurance.
They won't cover you.
Yeah.
They won't cover you for an accident, is what she's trying to say. So if you get into an accident, you're paying for your medical bills, they won't cover you at all. And we saw many accidents. So.
Yeah, it's just not worth it. If you're uncomfortable with it, just don't do it. It's a bit more hassle, but you can get around without one, because we did. So the last do, and this is relevant to a large majority of Southeast Asia.
I'll say everywhere. Just take this tip with you.
Take this tip. When you are crossing the road, walk with confidence and efficiency.
And just go. Because if you stop or you hesitate,
you will be a flat pancake on the side of the road.
I mean, it is ridiculous. When we got to Thailand, it was a shock for us. We spent the first night just looking for food on the same side of the road because we were too scared to cross the road.
True story.
But you get used to it. By the time we got to Hanoi in Vietnam, you're walking through fields of motorbikes just with your hand out, phone there, like, I'll be alright, mate. It's like I don't know what happens, they just merge around you. So don't be worried. Yeah. Once you start walking,
although I did get hit by a bicycle, so I think I might have PTSD, even though I was walking with confidence and intention to get across the road. So there's still a chance of getting hit.
Yeah,
but it won't be a car. It will just be a bicycle.
It might be a car. But you've got to be. The roads, the rules of the road out there are completely different to the Western world. So if you want to cross that road, just find a spot, commit, and cross. Because if not, you'll be stood like me at the side of the road for about 10 minutes with your 7-Eleven toasties going cold, going, oh, these lights going to change any time. They don't mean anything.
I was going to say, or just cross the road with the locals. So edge yourself next to some locals. When they walk, you walk next to them.
Best bet is an old lady, because everyone slows down for an old lady. Yeah. They have respect for them.
So the last one is then don't be snobbing. So don't go into Southeast Asia looking to be enlightened by travel and have a closed mind. I'm sure if you're going out there, you should already be searching for a different way of life and different cultures, but just keep that open mind throughout. Make sure that you're keeping your manners throughout, that you're saying thank you, you're saying please, and you're being appreciative of what people are doing for you.
Yeah, just make the effort.
Yeah.
You just need to learn 2 words, hello and thank you, or please and thank you in each language, and you can do that on Google, and just as long as you've got those, it's the effort that counts. Don't be some knobhead that just talks louder in English when people don't understand.
Yeah.
Or turn into a mime artist. It doesn't work.
So what I'm trying to say is, if you're open, they will be open back to you, and it's just as simple as that.
That's our list of do's and don'ts. There's loads more that we haven't put in, but most of them you'll get throughout travelling, and you'll learn along the way.
So if you liked it,
give us a like
and subscribe, and we will see you next week.
Come here.
3, 2, 1. You are so irritating. You know, it's just... Yeah. Do's.
Don'ts. Involve.
Yeah.
That's it.
Oh. I'm gonna stop. I've lost it again.